All right. Hello, this is Beverly of Miles and Coffee. Thank you so much for joining me today. Get your pen and pencil and a notepad. You want to take notes if you are thinking of moving to Mexico, because as you can see, we have a special guest. So I will leave a link to her website and her YouTube channel in the description below. But do me a favor, will you please? Please hit the thumbs up, like the video, and if you know someone who wants this information about how to obtain residency, share the video as well. Now, let's get started. Hello, Yvonne. How are you today?
Hi, my dear Beverly. How are you? Thank you so much for inviting me here. I'm so happy to be in your channel.
Thank you so much for being here. Do you have your coffee?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Cheers.
You know what?
I love coffee.
I love coffee. I need to get that mug. Girl, when you come in, we will definitely have to get one of those mugs.
That's for sure. Consider it done, my dear.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I cannot tell you, I have mentioned your name so many times, but you know, now I'm so glad that the viewers will get a chance to see for themselves how wonderful you are and to ask questions and to contact you to get information about this. So speaking of that, Yvonne, would you please tell us more about you and where you're from?
Okay, well, my name is Yvonne Pavan. I am the co-founder and general manager of Host Relocation Mexico. I am located in Querétaro, in the center of the country. And I am from Mexico City, but I have been living here in Querétaro for 32 years. So I'm Queretana already. We have offices, as you know, in La Paz, Los Cabos, Mexico City, and we are opening Guadalajara as well. So we will be very, very happy to assist you all.
Wow, so you're adding an office in Guadalajara?
Yes, this year.
Excellent. So you are expanding.
We are. We hope we can assist more foreigners to just fulfill their dream to come to Mexico.
Excellent. And this is the best way to do it. I always recommend for people to just get an advisor. It's just less stress and you are professionals. I can attest to that. And we want everyone to experience what I experienced. So thank you. And I'm glad
Thank
you're
you very
expanding.
much.
Yes.
So one of our first, as you know, it's immigration. So just ask me about it, whatever your viewers may need to know.
Excellent. Well, you know, you will be bombarded after this video with questions about immigration. Can you please tell the viewers about how your company helps with this immigration process? How does that work?
Of course, Beverly. Well, one of our services is immigration. So basically, I will want to share with the viewers that there are 3 ways to get the residency. There are 2 types of residency. One is temporary, the other one is permanent. We can talk about it later, but there are 3 ways of getting them. The first one, and normally the most common one, is by visa by job offer. That means a foreigner that has a job offer in Mexico for a company. It can be international or Mexican, but it needs to be registered here. That's the first one. The second one is economic solvency, which has been very common lately. You need to go to the consulate and prove certain economic solvency to be able to receive a Mexican visa. We can talk about the process in detail and come here and do the canje for a temporary or a permanent. The third way to get it is by family link, meaning if your grandparents were Mexicans or if your children, even one of them is Mexican, you can get the permanent residency right away. Because Mexico, it's so lovely with the families and they don't want to get the families apart. So that's another way to get it. Of course, another way is if you are married with a Mexican citizen, you can get it. It's going to be temporary for 1 or 2 years. And after 2 years, you can apply for a permanent. So those three ways are the ways to get the residency card.
Excellent. Thank you. So there are three ways, but you mentioned economic solvency. Can you please explain more about that? It has been my questions on this channel have to do with economic solvency. How would someone go about that?
So for getting this residency, the first step is to get an appointment at the Mexican consulate in your home country or in your last country of residence. What does that mean? You can be an American living in Ecuador, for example.
Mhm.
So you have been living there for 9 years. That is your last country of residence. So you need to get an appointment at the Mexican consulate in Ecuador because you're going to have your bank account statements there normally, and you can prove that you have been living there for quite a while. The same if you're in Europe, some people is in Asia, so you need to go there. Um, the other way, well, there's two types of visas, the temporary and the permanent. Uh, the main difference between the permanent one is the permanent is considered a retired visa. That means that you need to be 60 years old and over. This is one of the requirements. The second one, fulfill an economic requirement that is higher than for the temporary visa. It is so much higher, like 20 or 30% higher. And the third one is that you need to be retired. So if you fulfill the first two, but you're still working or you have your own company, most of the times you cannot have or you cannot apply for a permanent visa. So I have had some cases, some exceptions, but it depends basically on the immigration criteria. As you know, in Mexico, it all depends on the people that is assisting you. And also about the economic solvency, again, it varies from consulate to consulate. So you better go on the online website of each consulate. So for example, if you're in Texas, you can check all the 5, 6 consulates that they are there and check what is the minimum economic solvency, either temporary or permanent.
Mhm.
Because as I said, it varies from consulate to consulate. But it's important to mention, Beverly, you cannot skip that step. It's mandatory that you go for an interview. And as a result, if you're approved, you will get a Mexican visa glued into your passport. Until you have that, that means that you have been pre-approved. And the second part, just leave it to us. We can handle it all in Mexican side.
Yes. So following through, but the best part is that when we hire someone such as you and your associates, we don't have to worry because you will let us know what each step in the process is. What I like about it is that even when we start at step one, all of the fees and all of the things we need to pay is listed. That is such an excellent way because it takes all the guesswork out of it. So you just mentioned about this solvency. I have a question for you from a viewer. He's JG. Thank you for the question. And I believe this is a good time to ask that. JG wants to know, do you have to provide all the financial information like your investment funds, or is showing 1 year of deposits over time okay?
If you fulfill or anybody fulfill the minimum required that it listed on the consulate you're going to go, I will say that is enough. But my facilitator's advice is that you bring everything with you. You're applying through economic solvency. So the most, the better. Even though you can fulfill with pay stubs or even social security, it's better to have them all so they can know, oh yeah, they can handle it and they will not have any troubles living in Mexico. So that
Okay.
will give you like a faster response from the consulate.
Excellent information. So if they have any documents and deposits and pays, bring everything, proof of it, and they would need copies of those documents. Is that correct?
That's correct. They need to print out everything, the last 12 months of everything, investments or social security or pay stubs. So 12 months. Don't forget not even 1 month, because that can be a cause of rejection. It's very important.
Excellent. Oh, don't leave 1 month out.
Yes, please don't.
Thank you. Excellent. This is what people need to know, is that print things out, have it ready, have a folder, and have all of those documents.
Exactly.
Okay, my next question is, you mentioned that it depends where you go, and we know every state is different. Every state in Mexico is a little different. Do we need any new information for 2023?
Okay. Well, first of all, it's important to mention that the economic solvency at the consulates increased an average of 20% from last year. So if you as a foreigner were researching, just take a look for the new requirements. Most of them are already published on each consulate website, but it's better to take a look because they increase in most of them already 20%. So it's very important to mention. And in the consulate part, nobody, I'm meaning third-party people, cannot help you get the interview or the appointment. So I have a lot of questions like, can you help me with the appointment? No, we can't. So that is on your own. My suggestion is always do it by email. The phones doesn't always work, and you will see it when you come to Mexico. It's very hard, and I will say impossible, to get along with the people in a government office by phone. And if you have one, it's not going to be the right person and they can give you misinformation. The best way is to send them an email and request the appointment. By the email, the people may answer in between 3 to 5 business days. That's the average I've seen. And then they will reply with the requirements, or they will reply, to make an appointment, you need to go to this website, or they will give you the specifics on how to make the appointment with them, with the consulate you're looking for. My suggestion is always email. In the email, just to save you some emails, on the first step, I want an appointment for a temporary or permanent residency for Mexico. That will be the subject. On the body of the email, you need to say, hey, I am my name, I am this nationality, and I have this amount per month or per year, whatever you want to mention, and I'm wanted to have a Mexican residency. Can you please give me an appointment or your availability so I can go with you and request an appointment? With that information, and you can attach also your passport. With that information, they will make sure that you are not playing around, that you are very serious and that you will want that. So they will go and give you the information right away. So that is important for everybody that is seeking an interview.
Well, you just answered my next question about how to get started. But now I want to add, from my experience, that step is taken away because I remember you sending me a questionnaire about things to answer to help so that you could figure out how to help me. Again, I'm recommending that people get a facilitator because when they interview you and send the survey, they're trying to figure out the best way to help you to navigate the immigration process and to take out all of the steps that might get you rejected, so that's a great point. I want to ask you, Yvonne, I have not heard, but what happens if someone gets rejected the first time? Should they just give up or try again?
Try again, definitely, because as I said, each consulate varies from state to state. So don't give up. Just try another state. Just try another consulate. If this time, or maybe sometimes they said, oh, you missed the month of March, so that's why you're going to be rejected. So you request an appointment right away. Okay, I'm going to bring it to you. When can I come back? You can, if it's like simple like that, you just come back to the same consulate. If it's something more, you just try to another consulate. It happens to some of my clients that they are short in economic solvency for 100 US dollars or something, and they were rejected. They just go to another consulate that has a less requirement and just try it again. You will not be on a blacklist. You will not be on the system, anything. So just go for it. Try again.
Excellent. You know, I have had people tell me, oh, it was rejected, but it's so good to know, okay, if they say this is what you're missing, adhere to that and try again, or try another state.
Exactly.
That's it's simple. Keep it
Mhm.
simple. That's what we say on this channel.
Mhm.
Yvonne, I know that you're busy, especially during this month. I cannot thank you enough for your excellent advice and professionalism. My facilitator, Jimena, was so beautiful and so easy that I couldn't believe it. I'm being honest, you know, that's why I always recommend Host Relocation. That is a standing link in my videos now. So I cannot express how grateful I am. And I can attest to everything that you have said and how you will help people as they are navigating, because it can be stressful. Would you like to have any last words or final thoughts about how to get started or just coming to Mexico in general?
So about coming to Mexico, once you have, well, I want to continue with the step 2 that basically we do it all for you, but it's important for you to know. There have been some changes in 2023 about the things in immigration in Mexico. What do I mean by that? For example, when you come to Mexico, there are no more paper FMMs. What is an FMM? It stands for, in Spanish, Forma Migratoria Múltiple. In English, I will explain it that it's basically a registration in the system of all the foreigners that come to Mexico as a tourist or as a canje or as a resident, but it's a registration of the people in the system. Before, meaning 2022 and in the past, they were doing a paper FMM, you must remember, Beverly, and you
Yes.
will write your personal information and everything, and the INM officer needs to fill it out in a certain way. If you're coming as a tourist, it's tourist, and they also give you 180 days. I'm going to talk about it now that I remember. If you're coming as a canje, they will check out the box canje and 30 days. If you're coming as a regular tourist, just tourist. Or if you're coming as a business, business. Right now, it's done with a paper form. It's all digital. So it has been a lot of learning curve in this month. So it's not over. And now we are facing with all the mistakes that they have been facing in the system. What do I mean? That's why I suggest, and as you said, hire a facilitator because we can guide you in the process. So if you're coming as a temporary or a permanent residency, you need to show your Mexican visa mandatory glued in your passport. If you look as a foreigner, they will say, okay, foreigner, tourist, go. Not anymore. So you need to show the Mexican visa, and then they will stamp the entrance date, and they will need to write by hand, canje, 30 days. And they must register that in the system so we as facilitators can download the FMM digitally and present it together in INM. So basically, that's the new process. What we are facing is that sometimes you are not registered properly.
Yeah.
You are coming as a canje and you're registered as a tourist, or basically you don't appear on the system. So we can help you to solve that issue. That is one of
Ooh,
the main changes.
wow. Okay, so that's a main change. No FMM, everything is digital.
Yes, but you
The
need to
difference.
make sure that everything is correct at the airport so we don't
Mhm.
have any troubles later on.
I want to ask you this. I was asked in another coffee chat. The link is below. People that need to contact me about my experience, private coffee chat. And A person just thought they would come here and stay 180 days. Is that guaranteed?
Thank you for mentioning that. Not anymore. They have been 2 years that that situation has not been guaranteed anymore. I have had the same question and they said, no, but I'm American or I'm Canadian or I'm European. I will be granted. Not anymore. And that's because Immigration Mexico is trying to control the immigration, and the people that can fulfill the requirements, just do it. You know, if you're gonna, there are no more runnings around every 6 months. They are trying to stop that. If you're gonna live here, if you want to live here, or even people that has property in Mexico, they
Yes.
need to have the residency, and they are limiting that situation, like with something that I will talk, because for you need, for all the processes in Mexico, like to do the daily life, you will need a Mexican residency. You cannot have a bank account right now. That you need a tax ID number that is called RFC, and you need a driver license, and you need to hire internet, for example, something very simple, and you need a Mexican residency. They are not allowing to do everything without it. Even talking about Querétaro, you cannot even rent a property long term if you are not a resident. So that's how immigration works. You don't need to believe that you will be granted 180 days. Maybe you're lucky. I don't say that they don't give it to anybody anymore, but normally they are based on your accommodations and your return flight. So they asking you, when are you coming back? How many days you're going to be here? What are you going to do in Mexico? So they are based on your answers, and they will say, okay, you have 10 days, you have 15, you have 5. So what happened if you overstay? Well, you need to pay a penalty fee and you need to go out. Of course, it depends on every state. They can do checkpoints. It's not like in other countries that you're going to be on jail, but of course, it's not a good thing. So you need to pay attention and be aware of that. So that's why I always suggest, if you fulfill the requirements and you even have a property in Mexico, just go for it. It's basically not that hard, and especially if you hire a facilitator in every state, that will give you a peace of mind, and it's a very smooth process. You will see
Yeah.
that.
It is. It's especially when you hire Host Relocation, it's a very smooth and easy process without stress. And I applaud you for reminding people that there are no more border runs, and that if you want to buy property, you need to take care of residency. And I applaud Mexico for making things digital and making it more streamlined. You know, everything should be that way. So thank you. This is so informative. Again,
And also
people,
there's another important change, Beverly. Sorry to interrupt
please.
you.
Thank you. Excellent.
We have had an appointment online system. I will remember maybe 1 year ago, and there are no more online appointments in I&M on the Mexican side. So what are we doing now? Every state is handling differently, and it depends based on their staff at the office, and it's based on how many foreigners are requesting applications. So La Paz and Los Cabos is increasing so much because of no border runs, because of a lot of people buying properties, different reasons, but the amount of foreigners that they are arriving in general to Mexico increased a lot. So what the I&M office is doing, you or we need to make a line and just request a time and a date. It's not like an appointment per se, because you cannot do it in advance, but you need to make the line, and it is first come, first served. I'm talking about short staff because that is an important point to say how many people is going to be served per day. So every office, depending on the amount of people they have and the amount of staff it's working there, they said, you know, we are going to receive 20 people per day, or we're going to receive 30 people per day. Los Cabos is more or less 30 to 40 people per day. We need to make the line early morning and just put your name in a book and just first come, first served. In Querétaro, the amount of people that is requesting, it's incredible big. It's impressive. It's very impressive. And unfortunately, the staff is very low to serve all the people the same day. So we need to make the line even the day before and be there all night until they open, and they give turns, and they give between 20 to 30 turns per day. So it's very complicated to get a turn for you, but we do that job. Like as a facilitator is part of our job, get the line and get a spot for you inside INM. And also they are trying to make it quicker and checking all the documents. So you need to have everything ready so you can go to INM and request an appointment. Again, I'm talking about appointments like saying, hey, Beverly, come back today at 10 p.m. or come back, I'm sorry, 10 a.m. or come back at 12. But I'm meaning there are no more online appointments anymore. It's just making a line, first come, first served.
Well, you know, let me add to that. Thank you so much for all of this new information, because there's so much that is not correct on YouTube. And now people are getting correct information. My advice, especially for my compatriots from the United States, number one, please be patient. Just, it's amazing how kindness, when you are trying to get help from officials, kindness goes a long way. Smile and be patient. Yvonne just told us that you may have to wait, and it's first come, first serve, because now everything must be done in person. And if you have a facilitator, follow directions. I was in class one day because I work online, and Jimena sent me a message in WhatsApp, Beverly, we need to go tomorrow. Oh, can I wait the next day because I'm off? No. Okay, what time? Because she knew something I did. No questions. Oh, well, I have to work tomorrow. What did I do? I canceled my appointments because she said tomorrow is the day. Obviously, she was doing the footwork of, like Yvonne said, writing those appointments for me, right, on my behalf, right? And I said, I will be ready tomorrow. No problem. Thank you. You know, so just be patient, follow directions, because all of this is to help you. But like, and one last question. Should we just rely on English being spoken when we go into the immigration office all the time?
Oh, that's an excellent question. No, they don't. They only speak Spanish. They might be some people that speaks a little bit of English, but it's not the common thing in Mexico. So no, you cannot rely on oh yeah, I'm gonna be fine. You know, someone may speak English. No, it's not that the case. So yeah, that's gonna be hard if you are not fluent in Spanish. Besides that, all the documents needs to fulfill in Spanish.
Yes.
So,
oh my, that's another reason to hire a facilitator. Jimena was wonderful. The only part that I had to do by myself was the actual fingerprinting and answering questions and doing, and I was able to listen because the lady asked me, do I know a little bit? And I said, just a little. So the basic questions, I was okay, but everything else, Jimena was wonderful. I would have been lost. So if that is the case, that's another reason to hire Host Relocation. Ooh, this has been amazing and very informative. Like I said, there is so much erroneous information that it's so good to have a specialist who knows what is going on and can give us very accurate information. I'm going to repeat that in the description of this video. Please look, don't think about it. Contact him. I'm going to ask you one favor. Please, Yvonne, I know you're busy, but as the questions come to this video, if someone actually asks a question right here, just a basic question, will you come back and respond to the comments in the comment section?
Of course, my dear. Yes, that's very important for your viewers. So yes, of course.
Thank you. And yours as well, because I'm pretty sure that you'll have people contacting you on your channel, and you can feel free. But thank you once again. I'm hoping that a lot of the viewers would just follow my lead and go ahead and contact Yvonne. The email, would you like to say the name of your website for the viewers?
Yeah, it's Host Relocation Mexico. You will see the link on Beverly comments, so you
Mhm.
can have just direct access to it. And
Yeah.
you will see in our website that we hold your hand, not only in immigration, that of course is the first step, but we can also help you with housing, with opening a bank account, with the RFC, which is a tax ID number that is now mandatory for many things, with the TIP, which is a import permit for your car. We know about the TIP and the foreign cars as well. So we can, if you want to buy a car in Mexico, we can help you get a driver license and the car registration. So basically, we help you with all of that, so you can rely on somebody. We are
Mhm.
all Mexicans, but we are all bilingual as well. So we know how to handle Mexican bureaucracy. And if not, we just know how to manage it. Like, as I said, there have been a lot of troubles with the FMM digital. We maybe don't know how to handle certain issue, but we will go there and we will solve it. So that's the important thing for you, that you can rely on somebody to hold your hand. And even Beverly, there are sometimes, and most of our clients that say, I'm sending a WhatsApp, they have just a random question, and
Yeah.
we will be very happy to help. Just consider as a network people, just consider as a Mexican that is here to help, you know. So even though I'm not going to charge you for a question, of course, but
Mhm.
you can rely on somebody, say, hey, where can I buy this medicine? Or do you know this type of doctor or something else? We will be very happy to hold your hands in all your transition to Mexico, on all the culture and everything. So the important thing is you feel comfortable here and be happy in Mexico.
That's another great point, is that once you hire, maybe even after you get your residency, now you have a human resource. I have actually sent him in a question after the fact, and she was no problem answered it. So people need to know that when they contact you, you are really good about responding to messages and emails. That's what you're paying for, a professional, a human resource that is very good at what you do. So thank you so much. This has been such a pleasure.
It's my pleasure, Beverly, and me and my team will be happy to help you in all the states we are. And even though, you can send us an email and we will try to assist you.
Okay, so would you please say your email, even though it will be in the comment?
It is yvonne.pavan@hostrelocation.com.mx. My name is
Excellent.
a little bit tricky, but yeah, you can see it on the comments.
Yeah, I love it, by the way. And that will be a pinned comment. I will make that comment with your information, and it will be the first pinned comment. That way they can respond and ask you everything straight away and directly respond to you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for joining us today. I know you have a lot to do, so we won't keep you any further, but thank you. And we always say, we end by saying, keep it simple, my friends, take it one day at a time, and run, do not walk, run to Host Relocation so that you can keep things simple when you have to go to immigration. Until next time.
Until next time, thank you and cheers.